Hello! Welcome to Sandy La Pastelera. In today's video, we are going to be making vegan waffles. So for this recipe, we are going to need the following ingredients. First, we're going to need 30 grams of corn flour or cornstarch, 30. Then 300 grams of all-purpose flour or bread flour, but just make sure you don't use a flour that has baking powder on it. Then we're going to need 3 grams of salt, 30 grams of maple syrup. Then we're going to need 60 grams of vegan butter. I use my homemade vegan butter. If you want to learn how to make this vegan butter, please let me know. Then we're going to need 3 grams of active instant yeast. I like to use active instant yeast. If you don't like to use this kind of yeast, you can use instant yeast or fresh yeast, but the quantity will be different because each of those yeast act differently. So this one has to be activated. So the first thing that we're going to do is activate the yeast, and then we need 100 milliliters of almond milk. You can use coconut milk or any non-dairy milk that you like, and I'm going to show you how to make almond milk. So first, let's activate our yeast. So I have 50 grams of normal water, and it's lukewarm. It's at 30 degrees Celsius. And I just add the yeast. There we go. And then I just mix it and let it sit for 10 minutes until it starts to bubble, and then it's going to be ready to use. So that's our first step. Then our next step is going to be to make almond milk. So for that, we are going to need 1 liter of water, and then 150 grams of soaked almonds. You can soak your almonds the night before just with water. You add a lot of water, you weigh the 150 grams of almonds, then you add water, and then you leave it overnight. Or you can also put boiling water into the almonds and let it sit for an hour. Either you can do whatever you like. Then you need a very powerful blender, and then I'm just going to add my almonds. And I like to use dates, but if you don't like your almond milk to be sweet, then you just don't add anything. But I'm just going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 dates, but that's optional. You don't have to add it if you don't like it. Then you just put it in the blender. So we have to wait a little bit. Almost there. And that's it, it's ready. I have a nut bag here, but if you don't have one, you can just have a cloth, but make sure it's a very fine cloth, because otherwise the liquid won't go through. And that's it, practically. You just add it here. Sometimes I like to blend it twice, so it's more, the almonds are more fine. And that's it, really. It's very easy. The thing is, because it's a homemade almond milk, it doesn't last very long. because, and also it doesn't have any emulsifiers or anything. So just make sure to add it into a glass jar, and it will last to maximum 3 days in the fridge. And just make sure when you want to use it, you just have to shake the bottle. So because as I say, it doesn't have any emulsifiers, so it will separate. If you like your almond milk more thick, you can do 150 grams of almonds per 50 milliliters of water if you want a thicker almond milk. And that's it. Really, very easy. Okay, so we have our almond milk ready, and now I'm going to show you what are we going to do for our waffles. So first we're going to weigh the liquid. So we need 100 grams of almond milk. Okay, so that's 100 grams. Then we are going to add the flour, the cornstarch, salt, maple syrup, and half of the vegan butter. Then we're going to mix everything for 10 to 15 minutes until you can see the window of the gluten that develops when you mix the flour with the water and all the ingredients. And so let's do that. I'm still waiting for my yeast to be activated, so let's wait a little bit. In the meantime, what we are going to do is cook our waffles. So because this dough has yeast, it needs to rise. So when you are done with this, you have to cover it and leave it at room temperature for 2 hours or until it doubles in size, like this one here, or you can put it in the fridge overnight. You can do both. So because we don't have a lot of time and I didn't want to make you wait for 2 hours, I already made the dough, so it's nice and bubbly and beautiful. So we are going to just portion it and cook it, and it's very easy and simple. So the first thing that I always like to do is I like to weigh my dough, and then I can make portions of the same weight. So let's do that. I have a nice container here. Let's just put it here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of flour. Here we go. And then we're just going to put our dough. It's nice and ready. This recipe gives you round about 8 to 10 waffles. It depends on your waffle machine. If it's a big waffle machine, then you will have less waffles, but if it's a small one, then you can have round about 6-8. So let's measure the whole dough. Okay, so it's 577, so I'm just going to do 80 grams. Hold on. 74. 75. 80. Okay. 20, 74 and 100. So I'm just going to add a little bit. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, and then I just like to make them a little bit round and wait a little bit, and then I just make them flat. So first try to give them a round shape like that. Oh, I want to show you the yeast is ready. I hope you can see here it's nice and bubbly. So now it's ready to use. Okay, so now I'm just going to add the yeast, and I'm going to start mixing our dough for at least 10 minutes at low speed. So let's do 10 minutes. Okay, let's keep giving our dough a round shape. So I just like to do it like this. This dough doesn't need a lot flour at all because it's quite it's not that soft. So I just make my round ball like this. So I grab each corner gently, and then I just turn it, and I can either use my hands like that, or my hand like that, or on top of the mat. Hold on a second. Okay, and now we have to add half of the batter, of the vegan batter. Okay. Now we are just going to cover them and let it rest for a little bit. I'm going to use a little cloth, or you can use plastic as well. Let's just cover them for a little bit, and then let's just wait here. Then I want to show you how the dough is getting ready. It's just, this is a very small quantity for my mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can also do it by hand. That can work too. Okay, so I have my waffle maker ready. Let me just move this. My waffle maker is ready. I'm just going to put it at an, well, it depends on your waffle machine, but mine, the brand is Cuisinart. I like to set the temperature at number 3, and it should be fine. So I'm just going to wait for this a little bit. We need 6 more minutes, and then we can start cooking our waffles. Okay, this dough looks very nice. Exactly perfect. Let's wait. If you use homemade vegan butter, because it doesn't have the emulsifiers as the other vegan batters that you can buy at the market. Is very soft, so I always keep it in the fridge and I just take it out just when I need it. I hope you can see the dough. I want to show you. So this is how it looks so far. So we need to keep mixing it. Okay. We are going to make our, let me just add my almond butter in, almond milk into a glass container. Hold on. So I like to use these glass containers, glass bottles. They're very good to keep the non-dairy milks. So I'm just going to add into a jar. See, Daisy. What you can do to emulsify your non-dairy milk is that you can add xanthan gum, and that will make it so it doesn't separate. So that's very good as well if you want to do that. And you just need 1 gram, or 1 gram per liter. I don't know what milk you like to do at home, but I like to make almond milk and oat milk. They're both very tasty. I have made soy milk before, but it's a lot of work, and so these ones are a lot easier, and you can just do it every 2 days, and you have always nice and fresh non-dairy milk. So that's it. That's ready, and I just put the lid on and then keep it in the fridge. Okay, our dough is nice and ready, so I'm just going to wait 3 more minutes and then I'm going to add the rest of the vegan batter. In the meantime, let's see our waffles a little bit more. I'm just going to put this over here. So let's talk about yeast for a little bit. So the yeast that I use is an active instant yeast, and then you have the instant yeast and the fresh yeast. The 3 of them you have to you use them in a different way. So active instant yeast, you always have to mix it with a little bit of the liquid, and the liquid has to be lukewarm. So I always do it at 30 degrees Celsius, and then I mix it with the active instant yeast, and then I let it rest until it bubbles, like I show you, and that is ready. I like to use active instant yeast because it's easier for me, and fresh yeast expires faster, so that's why I don't bake every single day, so that's why I like to use active instant yeast. If you like to use fresh yeast, you just have to add it as a normal ingredient, and instant yeast is the same, you just add it as a normal ingredient. You don't have to activate the yeast. Just for the active instant yeast you have to do that. For the other ones you don't have to do that. Then if you want to change the recipe, and the recipe says fresh yeast, if you want to change it for active instant yeast, you just for example, let's say that our recipe we need 8 grams of fresh yeast, and I have active instant yeast. I'm just going to do a little formula, 8 times 0.4, so 0.4, and then I have 3 point something grams of active yeast, so that's it. And if you want to change fresh yeast for instant yeast, is you have to multiply the amount times 0.33. So that's it. And then if you have the opposite and you have the recipe with active instant yeast and as an ingredient and you want to use fresh yeast, you just have to divide it. So for example 3.2 divided by 0.4, and then you have 8 something grams. So it's very easy and simple, and it's nice to have that formula. So if you want to change according to what you have at your pantry, then it's a very handy formula. Okay, I want to show you how our dough is. This dough is quite sticky, it's quite hard, but that's fine. So to see the window of gluten, you just have to grab a little bit of the dough and do this. If it breaks, then it needs a little bit more. But I'm going to start adding the rest of the vegan butter. So hold on, it's almost 2 seconds, 1 second, timer ready. So I'm just going to add the rest of the vegan butter and let it mix for 6 more minutes. Okay, let's put 6 more minutes. Okay. And now this is ready. So we are going to add a little bit of oil. And if you want to make a caramelized waffle, what you can do is add sugar. Add sugar here, and then you just add it here. It's nice and tasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it a little bit. There we go. Now it's ready. And we are just going to keep it there for 3 minutes, and then we can check. In the meantime, let's just keep rolling these ones, or let's just make them a little bit flatter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here, and with the rolling pin you just make them a little bit more flat. That's it. 1. The nice thing about this recipe is that you can make it ahead. So you can make it the day before, at night, and for breakfast early in the morning you have your dough ready. You can also make the waffles and freeze them and put them in an airtight container, and when you want them you just put them in the night before you put them in the fridge, and you can warm them up in the waffle mixer or in the oven for 3 minutes. It's very easy. Okay. This is ready. So for our waffles today, we are going to serve them with pears. I'm going to show you with a ganache or maple syrup. You can add fresh fruit. It's very nice. You can be very creative. Okay. Just add it a little bit more here. Okay, that's ready. Okay, and just make sure to cover the dough, because if you let it just set like that, it will dry. So you just make sure you always cover your dough. That's it. Our dough needs a little bit more, 2 more minutes. Okay, they look so pretty. Okay, I'm going to put them another minute. Oh yeah, so I made these pears that are you just have to peel the pear, take the seeds, and then I just put them in a syrup. I just add brown sugar, or you can add panela with water and spices, and just let it cook for an hour, and then you will have a nice pear that it still has a texture, and it has all the spices, and it's a little bit sweet, not too sweet. So I like to do this, so I did that. And then we are going to add a little bit of leftover ganache that I have, and some I have crushed almonds with a little bit of coconut sugar. We can add this too, and then you can add anything really to your waffles. You can add fresh fruits, jam, just maple syrup. You can just eat them however you want. Okay, let's see how our dough is. Okay, let me see. Still needs a little bit more. And these should be ready. So these are nice and ready. Let's go with the next one. Normally I just add oil for the first waffle. The rest you don't need to add more oil. Well, it also depends on your waffle maker, but this one is very good, and I just make waffles. I don't make anything else, so it doesn't get dirty, and when I finish using it, I just wipe it with a cloth, and it's nice and ready. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the time. Well, let's put one, and then we can add two more. Ooh, they're so tasty. I'm going to bring, I love lemon, you know that I love lemon, so lime, I'm going to add a little bit of lime zest on top as well. So hold on a second. And this is our ganache. Okay, timer is up. Let's just add 3 more minutes. Okay. Our dough is ready. Well, let me check if the gluten is ready. So just grab a little bit, then just make sure you go lightly, just ding, 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 ding. It needs a little bit more. I think by the time we finish this waffle, that one will be ready. Two more minutes. Ooh. Two more minutes. It's always better to wait a little bit and just cook your waffles for the right time. Otherwise, they're going to be undercooked in the middle. So because this dough is kind of like a bread dough, you have to make sure you cook them properly. Okay, so that's done, ready. If you want to make them gluten-free, please let me know, and in the next recipe I can make gluten-free waffles. But these basically are they don't have any sugar on it, they just have maple syrup. Still a sugar, but it's better than normal sugar. But the next time we can make it gluten-free and sugar-free if you want. Okay, so we need 1 more minute. 1 more minute. And then we are going to make another one, and then we can just serve it with all the things that I have. I'm very excited. going to bring a bowl so we can let the dough rise. Oh, we can use this one here. And just, I always like to add a little bit of oil so it's easier to take the dough out when it has doubled in size. So let's just add a little bit of oil. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. Seven seconds. It's almost done. Okay, turn it done. Let's add another one. Okay, we have two. Let's just make three and then I can show you, and then we can decorate them. Oh, let's see how it goes. Should be ready. So just grab a piece of the dough and try to make the window. Still needs a little bit more. A little bit more. The nice thing about this recipe is that it has very little ingredients, and if you don't want to use a non-dairy milk, you can use milk, or you can just just water. And if you don't want to use maple syrup, you can use just honey. That can work too. And these waffles, they're not very sweet. They just have the maple syrup, so you can serve them with something savory as well. So if you want eggs, you can do it with eggs, or you can do it with mushrooms and spinach and a sauce. You can just be creative. Waffles don't necessarily have to be sweet. You can make them with something savory. Okay, still needs a little bit more, 1 minute more, and then I'm going to show you. So this is the leftover ganache that I have, and then I'm just going to add a little piece of the ganache. I hope you can, I'm going to show you here so I think you can see it here. There we go. So let's add another piece of ganache, and then we are going to add some pears. If you don't like pears, you can also do apples or any fruit really. Just going to add a little bit more pears. There we go. And I have coconut milk that I'm going to add a little bit as well. Then we just top it with this sugar. Let me grab a spoon. There we go. Okay, 3 minutes. This one needs a little bit more. In the meantime, I'm going to bring the lime, so hold on a second. Okay, so we have the lime and some coconut milk as well. So let's just add the lime first. There we go. Hold on. Okay, this one is ready too. I'm just going to put it on the bottom. There we go. Look how beautiful. Let's put 3 more minutes. There we go. So this is nice and ready. Yeah, you can see it there. Let me see our dough. Still needs a little bit more. Ooh, it's taking a long time. Okay, that's it. And I wanted to add a little bit of maple syrup. There we go. And you can add coconut milk as well, or like I show you in the mixed berry cobbler, you can whip coconut milk or coconut cream, sorry. That will be very tasty too. So let me just make sure I mix it properly. There we go. It's very thick. Does it want to come out? Oopsie, it's almost there. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit and more zest. There we go. Our waffles are ready. Woohoo! So 1 more minute and we can take our dough from the mixer. So it takes around about 15 to 20 minutes to mix properly. And then you can let it rise, as I told you, on the counter. Just make sure you cover it and it's in a nice warm space. Otherwise it will take longer. Or you can just put it in the fridge overnight. Just make sure you cover it properly. Otherwise, if you leave it under cover, it will get like a hard skin, and you don't want that. Okay, almost ready. I have 3 more. I think this should be fine. So let me take the dough. Our dough is ready. So I just use a little bit of the oil and just make sure you give it a round shape. Let me check. Yeah, it's ready. So let's give it a round shape again. And because I already have waffles, I'm just going to cover the dough and leave it overnight. So let me just cover it. I like to cover it with this cloth. Here we go. And these are ready too. Let's put them in the plate. 3 more minutes. So it's going to depend on your machine and the temperature that you set it on. Your waffles might take a little bit more or a little bit less. But practically that's it. We have our waffles ready. They're very tasty. I'm going to enjoy them. And if you like this recipe, please let me know. If you have any, sorry, if you have any problems with the recipe, please let me know. I'm very happy to help you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.